Good evening, everyone. I am Manisha Vishwakarma, Seminar Coordinator of Guwahati branch of EICASA. First of all, a very happy Independence Day to one and all present here. I, on behalf of my EICASA team, welcome you all on the third episode of our E-Gurukul series, Excelling Excel Functions. And the speaker for today's session is CA Ankit Jalan, sir. Sir is a practicing chartered accountant with over 13 years of post-qualification experience and a member of ICAI. Sir holds certifications on artificial intelligence for chartered accountants, information system audit, certification course on concurrent audit of banks, all post-qualification programs conducted by ICAI. As the proprietor of Ankit Jalan and Company based in Guwahati, Assam, Sir's firm focuses on audit and assurance, internal controls, system validations, data analytics, and business process improvements. Sir is also actively involved with various branches of ICAI for over a decade. Sir has served as a regular faculty member for the Advanced Information Technology course at the CA final level. Over the years, Sir have trained more than 5,000 CA students, members, and other professionals through CPE seminars, student study circles, and ICI run capacity building programs as a regular speaker at different business and community forums. Sir have represented the Guwahati branch of ICI twice at the ICI's Faculty Development Program in Mumbai. Sir have also served as a co-opted member of the Committee on Information Technology 2017-18, the Digital Transformation and Process Reengineering Committee, and most recently, the Professional Skills Enrichment Committee of the Eastern India Region Council of the term 2024-2025. Sir, I hand over you the virtual stage.
Thank you, Manisha, for your kind words of introduction. Hello, all. First of all, I need a confirmation from you guys whether we both are audible, loud and clear to you guys. We are 17 here, so if you are all in a seated, silent room, then you can even unmute yourselves and we can have a interactive session for the next 1.5 to hours, whatever it is. Yes. So your chats are visible to me. I can see the chats. Also, you can speak out if you wish to. Yes. Okay. So Manisha is there. Okay. Okay. Fine. Thank you. So I hope my screen is also visible to you. There's a PowerPoint running on screen.
Yes, sir. It's visible.
So I say it as E3. What is E3 now? E3, the first E is EICASA. Then it is E-Gurukul. And today we are on episode 3 on Excel. So I got this opportunity to call it as E3. So that's my first slide. E3 and excelling on Excel functions. So since you all are CA students, can you tell me, can you think of a day when you do not run on Excel and you still pass your day? ऐसा होता है आप लोग के साथ कभी?
कभी नहीं, sir.
Is it okay I speak in a mix of Hindi and English, or if it is a pure English section which you require, I'm also okay with that.
I guess everyone is fine with English. No problem.
Okay. Both works. Okay, Kunal. Fine. So, can you think of a day when you do not work on Excel and वो दिन पूरा हो जाए? So, my view is I am a faculty on AI as well. So, when we are talking about AI, we tend to talk about कि अब Excel के दिन गए और AI का दिन आ गया. But I still believe कि Excel के दिन नहीं जाने वाले. Excel हमारे साथ ही रहने वाला है. और Excel plus AI ये combination बहुत ज़्यादा strong हो जाएगा. Right? So if you are with me on that, we have a session aligned for you on Excel today, where we'll talk about things which are generally not spoken about in sessions. But today's session, I have planned with you for the next 90 to 120 minutes with things like that. You have heard about VLOOKUP, you have heard about pivot tables. So those are the two main pillars on which we'll be basing this session. But yes, there is something more to add with the flavor of VLOOKUP and pivot tables, so that you can extract even sweeter juice from both of them. All right. Any confusion? What is the objective of the session and what are we going to do in the session now? If you have anything which you want me to cover, you can put it up on chat so that if time permits, we can add that as well. All right. In case you are in a position, please turn your cameras on. It will be, I'll be really excited to look at you guys while I speak to you. If it is possible, it is fine. If it is not possible, it is also all right. So just a request from my side, if it is possible, please turn on. It is always a good feeling to talk to people rather than only talking to the screen. All right. So please allow me that leverage in case if it is possible and in case you are in a single room. All right, Kunal, I can see you. All right. So if my screen is visible and if the PowerPoint is running, then the second slide reaches me to make you understand that you need to download a data set, which I have prepared for you, which we will be using throughout the session. So the file is also shared to you on WhatsApp. There is a Google download link which I have for you, which I am putting on this Zoom chat. And then there is also a QR which you can use to download the dataset. So either ways, you can do it. Only request is do it whatever way you like it. All right. So even on the Zoom chat, I have shared the link. There is a QR on your screen which you can use to download the dataset. There is also the same dataset shared on the WhatsApp group. So if you are using WhatsApp on web, you can do it there, you can do it here, or you can do it on the QR available on your screen. Either ways, please do it. So by the time you do this download, can you quickly answer one quick question to me? How do you use a QR code on your computer? See, we have been scanning QR codes on mobile phones, right? We have a camera in our mobile phone and we scan a QR code there. But if I ask you to scan a QR code on a computer, how do you do it? How do you use the link which I have within this QR code, but on a computer, not on a mobile? सोचा है कभी ऐसा? All right, give it a quick thought right now. Please don't go to Google here. We'll talk about it if in case you cannot answer. Just have a कभी नहीं. All right. So इसके बारे में सोचिए, कुछ सोचकर मेरे को बताइए क्या लगता है आपको कि आप कैसे यूज कर सकते हैं क्यूआर कोड को कंप्यूटर पर. यस, लुकिंग फॉर मोर रिस्पॉन्सेज. आपने ट्राई नहीं किया, आपने किया, हुआ नहीं, ये भी चलेगा. All those who have joined, all 19 participants, excluding me and maybe the host. So 17 people out here, you can all answer this. Just giving you food for thought. कभी यूज नहीं किया? Okay, Malika. Print screen and then search photo option in Google. Okay, that is one good option, Kaiser. So what you can do is you can go to google.com and in Google you can search for images. The moment you upload a QR code as an image search on Google, it will show you the link if there is a link on the QR code, and that is how you can access that QR code. So one good answer. Fine. Either ways, by now I believe that we have learned one new thing. Yes. And if yes, then you must have the file which we are going to talk about. So do you have the data set, all of you? A quick yes from your side will do the job. See, yes and no are both good to me, but I am not okay if you remain silent. Either speak up or use the chat box, but you need to make yourself working. In Excel, if your hands do not work, then there is no point discussing Excel at all. All right? Okay. So see, since you have voluntarily joined the session and since now that you are in the session, you do not have a choice. You'll have to be interactive with me and you cannot keep silent. All right. I can see some faces whom I recognize. So to them, I can speak to them in person as well at a later point of time. So you guys have even no more choices to remain silent. All right. Okay. So coming to the data set now. I'm moving away with this PowerPoint, which you see on my screen. I am on to the same data set, which I have asked you to download. All right. So just a second, let me put my screen in the right position. All right. So I believe now you can see the same data set as in your computer and the same on my shared screen as well. All right. So if you just go through the headers of this data, so it is order ID, customer name, region, product, quantity, quantity, price, date, and sales value. Right? Very simple data set. Out here, if we have to analyze this data, first of all, the size of this data is 50 rows. I hope you can see it here. The count is 50. So a small data set, a very small data set rather, on which we are going to make our next 90 minutes useful on this. All right. So how are we going to do this, and what all we are going to do this with this? Let us see. But before we deep dive into this data set, let me just have a quick understanding of आप कितने पानी में हो. All right, चलेगा? I can see some familiar faces as well, so I can put that question to you, but just not taking the names. You guys yourself understand since you have met me in person before. So before I, okay, so here's the question for you. So if I write is equal to B2, so it is pointing to which cell? This particular cell, and the input of the cell is PRISHA, Prisha, right? So if I hit enter, what do I get in this cell? Particular cell called K3, I get the output as Prisha because I have input what? The input is equal to B2. All right. Once again, I enter B2. All right. But this time I tweak it and using a shortcut key F4, I don't input B2, I insert is equal to $B $2. I still get the same result as PRISHA, Prisha. Right? This time, what I do is I once again input B2, but this time I do it 2 times press of the F4 key. Here I get the input as B $2 is equal to B $2. All right, but the output is still the same. Next, what I do is I write B2 again, but this time I press my F4 key for 3 times. So what I get is $B2. So in case I am getting $B2, so I am getting all correct, all same responses. Every time it is the output of B2 and the output is Prisha. But the input is all different at all times. You can see this is equal to B2. The cell reference B2 in the manner in which you write it most of the times. Am I right? Then there is $B $2. Then there is B $2, and then there is $B2. Can anyone give me the structured name or the term which we use for this type of references? What are these references called? Anyone?
So this is relative reference.
All right. And further?
Absolute.
And the third one?
Mixed.
Yes. So you are right. So when we write is equal to B2, this is a case of relative reference. There is no $sign being used, and this is relative reference. When you use dollar before both the things, what are both the things here? One is row and the other is column. So B is what? B is a column and 2 is a row. So Excel, how much and whatever you may learn in Excel, the most important thing is a cell reference. Because without use of cell references, you cannot construct any formula, you cannot work with Excel. Am I right? Think of any formula where you have not given any cell reference. एडवांस काम कर पाओगे उसके साथ आप कुछ कर सकते हो कुछ ऐसा. So when you write 2 and 3, and even if you do is equal to 2 plus 3, but you do not write 2 and 3, you write what? N4 and N5. Again, you are using a cell reference here. The only case possible where you do not use a cell reference is something like this. You write is equal to 2 plus 3. You are not mentioning any cell reference. But how advanced can you go with writing all the inputs in Excel in the cell itself? So that is not the case we are going to discuss. So anyhow, we need these references. And these cell references are, this is an example of relative reference. This is an example of absolute reference. In case where there is only $1 sign, either before the row or before the column, then that is a case of mixed reference. Is that all right? Yes. So now, when I am starting this session and I am starting this session with references, you can understand that I have gone to the very basics of Excel. Because इससे नीचे हम कहाँ जा सकते हैं, कहीं नहीं जा सकते. फिर तो मेरे को आपको सिर्फ ये बताना पड़ेगा कि रो क्या होता है, कॉलम क्या होता है. तो मैं आपको उस लेवल से ऊपर मानता हूं और मैं रेफरेंसेस से अपने सेशन को शुरुआत करना चाहता हूं. ऑलराइट, नाउ यू मे फाइंड इट फनी कि व्हाट इज सो ग्रेट विद सेल रेफरेंसेस. बट लेट मी टेल यू, इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड सेल रेफरेंसेस, then you can do wonders with Excel. And when I say you that, I actually mean that. And today we are going to see how that works. All right. Now, since you are looking at my screen, you can see I have selected some cells. All cells are currently blank, right? If I enter one in one of them, which is the first cell of my selection, and if I have to do something that all cells, whichever are selected right now, they get auto-filled with the same input one. How can I achieve that?
Control enter.
So yes, Kunal, you are right. When I am on this edit mode, I can press Control Enter, and what Control Enter will do? It will enter the same input across all other selected cells. All right. So this is what Control Enter does for you. And when I say that, it does not necessarily mean that my cells have to be selected in some particular fashion. If it is even selected in any other manner, which is not in a particular fashion, and if you still write something, it is not necessary that you write one. You can write anything out there. And if you still press Control Enter, what will happen is all such cells which are selected will get the same input written in each of them, and that will be presented. All right. So here it may also be so that you can even input a function. So if you write is equal to sum of A1 and A2, then if you are writing A1 and A2 without references being absolute, then what will happen? The selection of the cell will impact the location of the relative and the absolute references, and accordingly the sum function will impact all others, and the sum function will give you that result. Is that clear? So this is just a small introduction about relative references, absolute references, mixed references, and the use of control plus enter key together. All right. See, we may have a session at the very end asking for question and answers, but in case if you have any queries here, you please point me and ask it to me here itself, because you may tend to forget that query of yours at a later point of time. So whatever your queries might be, if you are not getting or not able to follow something, please let me know here itself. All right. Now, this is my raw data set. I'm just copying a sheet and creating a new one. All right. And I write it as a sheet name as CS. This is just for me. You can do the same as well, so that the raw data remains raw as it is, and we are not editing the raw data at all. All right. So in the new sheet CS, what does CS mean for me? It means cumulative sum. All right. So when I say cumulative sum, what do you understand? So what will be the cumulative sum in this particular cell I2 if I have to take the cumulative sums of the sales value? What will be the value here? Yes, quickly. Yes, anyone who wants to say? Arey, come on, you all have been A2. Why A2? That is order ID. Mudit, I'm talking about total sales amount. So it is column H here. So if I have to take the sales value, if I have to take the cumulative sum of the sales value, then I believe it will be 3594 here. Yes. And if I have to come on to I3, which is this particular cell, which you can see is highlighted, and if I have to take the cumulative sum, what do we generally do? We generally take it this way, is equal to opening balance, which is this cell, plus the value of the current line item. This is how we do it. Yes. Any other way? Does anyone does it by any other way? See, in Excel, it is not that my way of working and your way of working might be same. It might be different and you may still be correct. There is no harm on it. That is absolutely okay if you have a different route or different way of achieving the same objective. So okay. So you are saying using mixed reference, Mudit. So that is also fine. Let us see what we can do here is, say for example, if we write a function called a sum, do you know we use a sum function for adding numbers? Nothing new, I believe. यही तो हम करते आ रहे हैं. Sum function ही तो सबसे ज्यादा use करते हैं, right? And why do we use sum function? To take the addition of some numbers, right? So here, what is the number? Here the number is H2. So if I write a function here is equal to sum of H2 to H2, do you think I have done it right, or do you think I have done something I have mistaken something here? Is equal to sum H2 to H2. Is it okay? Please do not try hitting enter. You will get the result. But wait, do you consider this is right or this is wrong? Yes. For everyone, the question is the same. You can answer me, please. Do you think my function is right?
Yes, sir.
गलत तो नहीं लग रहा है. All right, and yes. So yes, because it is starting from H2 and ending at H2. So from H2 to H2, whatever the values are, it will take the sum of that. Yes. So the answer is correct. It is 3594. If I see in Excel, if the data sets are big, which they normally are, so you cannot keep on writing formulas again and again, right? The tendency should be you should write the formula only once and then do what? The most beloved thing of yours, copy and paste, right? So if I copy this function and paste it here, do you think I have got the right result? The answer is no, because it has not added the 3594. It has just repeated the same value of this line item. So I have failed to achieve my objective of taking out the cumulative sum. But this is true till the time I do not make a small edit to the original function which I have written. What I have written is starting from H2 to H2. But if I just do this, a minor tweak on this, the first H2, if I lock it using absolute references, what happens is the first result remains the same. But when I copy and paste it across the other cells, in the second cell, what has happened? The starting point has remained the same and the end point has changed because of the correct use of relative references. And because of that, I have been able to use one sum function here, which I can copy and paste it across my cells. And every time when I do that copy and paste, I will still get the perfect cumulative sum for every line item. Give it a trial, complete it, let me know, please. Make sense? See, you can see my function in case you have to. I'll just zoom my screen a bit. Okay, so sum of H2 to H2, where the first H2 is logged, or we can say it is an example of absolute reference. Yes? Make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the way we have taken cumulative sum, can we also do something about cumulative count? How many times this name Prisha has appeared here? So if I ask you this question, one approach might be we can filter that name called Prisha here and maybe we can see the count of it. So the answer is 2. So can we take a cumulative count of it that on the first occurrence, it gives you the result as 1 and on the second occurrence, it gives you the result as 2. See, when you use the normal count function, it gives you what? It gives you the total number of times that particular name has appeared. So if it is Prisha, for that the count will come as 2. And what is the function which we can use for counting here? In normal case, we would have used count if. So what we do is count if. Sorry, I have not written an is equal to. So is equal to count if, and then it is asking me for two things. The first is range, and then it is criteria, right? So what is my range here? My range can be this, right? The entire range from B2 to B51, and then I can write B2 as my criteria. So it will tell me that the name of Prisha has appeared twice. Am I right? But this is not what I wanted, right? I wanted that every time when Prisha occurs for the first time, it should give me the count as 1. And when it is occurring for the second time or third time, it should give me the count as 2 and 3. So that I'm able to track the number of occurrence which the name has appeared for. Am I right? Do you understand what are we trying to achieve here? So now if we have to do that, what can we do about it? So here again, the logic is very simple. We will use the same syntax as we used in case of sum. We will use count from where to where? From B2 to B2 with the condition or with the criteria being B2 as well. So if I hit this as enter, do you think it makes sense? Check for RF. RF is occurring first time in this case out here in cell B5 and again in B6. So B6 is the count showing me 2. The answer is no. So have I achieved this? The answer is again a no. So I have faulted again. So the answer is yes, I have faulted again because I have not used one single simple thing. What is that single simple thing? That is the case again with absolute and relative reference. So just use of smart references using the first B2 starting point. If I can log that and then copy and paste this function, you can see it works like magic. This is RF on the second time and the count is returned as 2. So what you already knew, that was something like sum, that was something like count, that was something like countif. So what I have added as a flavor in that is the use of absolute and relative references. क्या आपको absolute relative reference नहीं आता था? बिल्कुल आता था. But a combination of both can work perfectly and in your interest. That is something maybe you are not very much using it. Am I right? Does this make sense? This will make absolute sense in some time to come. Give me some more time. As we close the class, you will understand that what can be a smart use of absolute and relative reference and how that references can simply work magical for you. All right. Yes, Mudit. So my syntax is here. You can see it is same as yours. Only thing, for just use of better formulas, please don't give that space after the last B2. Okay. Avoid using that. You will save yourself some time. Otherwise, when you write a function in Excel, if you give a space in between, that is never a problem if after the comma. But still, try to avoid that. All right. Yes. So this is about cumulative count. Any doubts with that for those who have not responded to me till now? क्या हुआ? मेरी आवाज पसंद नहीं आई? एक्सेल पसंद ना आए ये तो नहीं हो सकता आपको. एक्सेल से तो आप बचकर कहीं जा नहीं पाओगे कितना भी एआई यूज कर लो. एआई से भी आपको एक्सेल ही कराना पड़ेगा. राइट? आपने प्रोफेशन ही ऐसा चूज कर लिया है. इस प्रोफेशन में चाहे आप प्रैक्टिस में रहो, चाहे आप बिजनेस कर लो, चाहे आप कुछ ना करो, अब एक्सेल से आपका पीछा नहीं छूटेगा. Right? So please learn to use Excel in the best possible manner so that what happens is you are able to work best with it. All right. Now, if I ask you one more question, I need this cumulative sum. Achha, let us forget this count and let us talk about cumulative sum now. But let me add another flavor out here. I want cumulative sum, but for each customer. Say, for example, if I talk about this RF, all right. So the first value of RF is how much? 5416. So the cumulative sum for RF is 5416. The next one is 5416 plus 15896. Am I right? And the next one is out here. So this is through a manual check that I'm using a function like this. So what I've done is opening balance of RF plus current value of RF, that is 4914, and that totals up to the value of 26226. All right. So this is the cumulative sum for a specific customer called RF. Yes. So if I have to get this cumulative sum for each of the customers, do you think this will become a task now? If no, then good. Please give this a try. If you think this will become a task, so let me tell you, yes, it may become a task, but our task do not take more than 10 seconds to complete. For those who have been my students already, they know my logic of 10 seconds. We have and we can complete any such Excel formulas within 10 seconds. Yes or no? For those who still believe no, I am here to change your thought. And you will be able to see that we will be achieving this task as well for each customer name within 10 seconds. So if we have to apply a conditional based search and then we need to sum them together, there is a simple function which we can use and the name of the function is nothing but SUMIF. So when you write SUMIF, it is asking you for three criteria, three arguments now. The first one being range, the second one being criteria, and third one being sum range. So what is the range here? So the range is Prisha, right? This is the name of the customer where we need to do that search whether it matches or not. So we can write is equal to B2 to B2 And then what is my criteria? The criteria is again B2. Yes. And if that criteria is matched, then what should we add it up together? That is here in column H. So the sum range will become H2 to H2. Now, for those who have not understood it, just have a look at my function and try to think if I have written anything sensible. What I'm writing is B2 to B2. B2 को ही search करो और search करके क्या करो? H2 से H2 को ही add कर दो. So if this is what it is, then this will not make any sense if you just see the copy and paste results out of it. Only thing you need to do is just the same magical wand of using absolute reference. Starting point को lock कर दीजिए. That is all what I want from you. If you can lock the starting point and then you can simply copy and paste the function, you can see wherever that name is appearing for the first time. Example, this one. RF is appearing for the first time, so it is 5416. On the second occurrence, it has taken this as the criteria in which it has applied the SUMIF function. And what has happened is within this range, the one which is selected correctly by Excel, what has happened is RF is occurring for second time. And when it is occurring for second time, it is adding both of them. And if you further go ahead and check with this particular RF occurrence, which is for the third time here, so 3 occurrences, the sum of 3 numbers will be fetched for you. All right. So here you do not have to bother if a new name is added or if an old name is repeating again itself. Whatever it be, Excel will take care of that. And then you are getting the correct cumulative results every time. This becomes a big savior when you are doing audits. It is the month of August, and by now we have not received any extension for tax audits. Requesting God to kindly give that, right? अगर 15 सितंबर तक हमें आईटी रिटर्न्स फाइल करने हैं तो 15 दिन में तो शायद ऑडिट नहीं होना है, right? So whatever it be, if you have to do it, then tools of this kind is the only thing which may help you. Otherwise, audit will not complete on time. Am I right? And this becomes a very useful tool when you are working with audits and you are working with client vendor payments specifically, and you are seeing what is the total credit limit, or if you are seeing what is the total sales value or what is the total value against the limit set by your organization. If that is something, some exercise or assignment which you are doing, then this formula will be a big savior for you. So keep this in mind so that next time you are in an audit, you don't have to go with manual cumulative sums every time. You can use one single formula, paste it across the length of the entire worksheet, and it will do your job. All right. So one Excel formula all the 3 times. So that is what that is here. So for anyone who has to see this, you can see the function, it is here. We are just locking the single starting point. And once we have done that, we are good to go with our Control C and Control V. Yes. Any doubts, anyone, with what we have discussed till now? I believe there is nothing which we can face as a problem here. If anyone still has a doubt, please let me know. All right. So this was a simple exercise, but a brilliant one when we talk about absolute and relative reference. Just using single thing, which is absolute relative reference, we have tweaked the original function of SUMIF and COUNTIF to our benefit so that we get the cumulative results from them. All right. Now, if I take this sheet further, the one which I have made just now, the CS sheet, all right, cumulative sum sheet, and if I apply some VLOOKUPs out there, all right. So let me prepare a new sheet now, and out here, let me create some data set for learning and applying VLOOKUP. All right. Say, for example, in this sheet, can you see some customer names? The answer is yes. Yes. Now, are the customer names unique? The answer is no. There are some names which are appearing again and again. Example, Araf. Example, Prisha. Right? Now, if I have to see the highest number of count, how many times a number has appeared, then I can simply do this. The number out here, the count, max count is what? 6. So there is some name which has even appeared for 6 times. There are some names which are appeared only once, and there are some which are appearing for 2, 3, 4, and 5 times as well. All right. But in case if I have to curate a single unique list from all the names, how do I get it? Again, there can be multiple ways of achieving this. One simple shortcut method is a new function called unique. Using a function called unique, if I run this array, this one, particular one, and if I just close the bracket, what I get is all unique names. In this list, none of the names will get duplicated. The name of the function is unique, or every time I am in my Excel session, I generally speak this word, so I'm speaking it here again. जैसा नाम वैसा काम. So unique नाम का function क्या करता होगा अगर मेरे को आपको बताना है, so आप समझ सकते हो unique क्या करता है. Unique क्या करता है? Unique चीजों को निकाल कर आपके लिए लाकर दे देता है. What is minus about it? This is not present in versions prior to 2016 and the prior versions. So in case you are using that, because I cannot ask that every one of you are on Microsoft 365, since that is a subscription-based product, then what is the savior? How can you do this? Remove duplicates. Okay. Yes, Mudit, you are right. You can use remove duplicates. And Manisha, you are talking about 365. So yes, this is available on 365 and not on the previous versions of Microsoft 16 and the predecessor versions. I am not very sure about 2021 as a version, because after 365, once you start using 365, it is very difficult to switch back to a version like 21 as well. So I have not taken my hands on that. So very sorry, I'm not able to answer you on that. If you are not doing it this way, and if you are on the older versions of Excel, what you can do is you can copy the entire list, maybe to a particular new sheet, something like this, and then you can move to the and you can move to the data tab, and therein you can use the option of remove duplicates. Within the data tab out here, this small options called data tools. Out here, there is an option here called remove duplicates. The shortcut for which is alter AM. Okay. When I say alter AM, please don't confuse with alter plus A plus M. All right. It is alter comma A comma M. Can anyone tell me what is the difference when I write something like alter plus A plus M and when I write alter comma A comma M? Small
Press
thing.
one and press all together.
Yes. So when you are writing a shortcut with plus in between, it means you are required to press all the keys together. All right. And when you are writing something as a shortcut with comma in between, it means you need to press those particular keys, but one after the other in the manner in which it is written. Alter AM is not same as alter MA. So also understand this. Okay. So it is alter AM. So alter then A, then M. So if you do this, what will happen is, before you do that, you need to select the list. So I have selected the list, and here I have pressed alter AM. So when I do that, a new dialog box opens up called remove duplicates. It is already selecting my this particular column called column customer names. So I will just hit OK. The moment I hit OK, it says 30 duplicate values found and removed, 20 unique values remain. All right. So this is how you can also come up with your unique list of values using the older function called remove duplicates. Remove duplicates is present in 2007 onward versions. So I don't think you'll find a problem working with that, because 2007 से पुराना Excel आप लोग किसी ने शायद यूज भी नहीं किया है और शायद आपको कभी यूज करने की जरूरत भी नहीं पड़ेगी. Right? Can anyone tell me what was the version before 2007? Because 2007 is still being used in some offices. But what was the version before 7? Please do not Google. नहीं तो अभी आप Excel का इतिहास निकाल लोगे. So it was 97 2003 version. Then there was a version called Office XP. The way you understand Windows XP, which was the OS, there was also a Office version called Office XP, and that was another version of Microsoft Office packages. Okay. Those were some which we used to use when we were in your age, or maybe younger to you guys. But yes, we have used that as well. And then when 7 came in, it was like, wow. And today's, if someone is using 7, it feels like ये क्या use कर रहा है, इसके तो बहुत आगे पहुंच गए. Am I right? It becomes a very painful exercise if you have to work in 2007 right now. Because in 2007, there are a lot of features which are not present as compared to even 2013 or 16. But when you compare it with 365, then you feel like, आप कहाँ हो अभी भी? And yes, 2007 and 2025, it has been 25 years. Oh, sorry, it has been 18 years. So in 18 years, tech has progressed a lot, right? So if it has progressed, then yes, you will get to see a lot of things which were not present in 2007, which are currently working like magic. All right. Now, if I have to tell you that this is my unique list of names, yes, and we need to do some VLOOKUP exercise on this. Say, for example, Prisha. This is the name of one customer. So if I just do a small filter for you for Prisha, first let me explain you the data set. So in my data set, there are two occurrences of Prisha. Can you see? One is order number 1001 and the second is order number 1037. How many of you are already working with VLOOKUP or you know about VLOOKUP? Write one on the chat box, please. If you are working with VLOOKUP, if you are familiar with VLOOKUP, please write one. So 3, 4, 5 names. Okay. Okay. So you five, those who are saying, okay, we have more names. Soumya comes in. Yes. So we have more. Okay. So we have a understanding with VLOOKUP. I hope everyone agrees to me on that. That VLOOKUP can fetch only one value. It cannot work with multiple values. Am I right? Yes, Mudit. Yes, Manisha, what do you say? Yes, Venkat is saying yes. So when you understand VLOOKUP, the first rule that comes with VLOOKUP is VLOOKUP can work only when you have unique values. If you have duplicate values, what will happen? It will fetch you the value of the first occurrence on only. This is a standard rule which comes with VLOOKUP. Yes. So at times this also becomes a shortcoming when we are working on VLOOKUP as a tool to recover or to fetch our data sets. Am I right? So right now, if this is my data set and Prisha order ID 1001 has a sales value of how much? 3594 and order value or order ID 1037 has a sales value of 7904. Right? So when we talk about Prisha only, I'm forgetting all other customers for the time being. And if I'm trying to talk only about Prisha here, and if I want the sales value, all right. And if I use VLOOKUP for this, what do you think? What will I get from this result? Given the fact that my VLOOKUP syntax is correct. ये नहीं बोलो मैं VLOOKUP ही गलत लगाऊंगा. अगर गलत लगाऊंगा तो फिर मेरे को कुछ भी मिल सकता है. मैंने सही लगाया तो मेरे को क्या मिलेगा? So the answer is 3594. Yes, Venkat, you are very right on that. But say, for example, the task demands that every time Prisha occurs, you need to fetch its first value, its second value, its third value, its fourth value, fifth value, sixth value, and so on. Say, for example, you are doing something like a bank statement reconciliation. And say, for example, you are looking for a value like 1000 or 1 lakh rupee. Do you consider that such values occur only once in a bank statement like thing? These are some common figures which appear multiple times. Yes. And our reconciliation task gets difficult because we are unable to reconcile so many same figures across the length of the statement. Yes. Now, if I just draw for you, say for example, when we checked our count here, I hope you still remember that it was showing the max count as 6. So for some of the customer names, it will so happen that there are 6 occurrences here. Yes. Am I right? For Prisha, it is only 2. But say for example, who is at 6 here? Let's see. For 6, it is 2 cases, Arav and Aditya. So for Arav, you will see that Arav name is occurring for how many times? For 6 times. Yes. So for 6 times, so we have 6 different sales values here. Yes. So if I have to fetch all of these 6 values here for someone like Arav out here in this 6 particular cells, how can I get it? Mudit, Arav is 6, I believe. You are writing it as 4. Check it again. For me, it is 6, and I hope we are on the same data set. So I have to correct you on that. It will be 6. All right, fine. So how can we achieve the same using VLOOKUP? I hope the task is clear to you. On the first case of Prisha, the value should be 3594, which I have seen here. So Prisha, this is 3594. And say, for example, if I do a find and see the second Prisha, this is 7904. So what I'm wanting from you is 7904 to appear out here. But what I have done right now is I manually typed this. क्या सारे के लिए मैं manually type करूं? Does that make sense? And can you do it more importantly within 10 seconds? The answer is no. That is not possible. That is not doable as well. You should not attempt to do this. Because if you say yes, then the idea is if you are on a 50-line item sheet, that is fine. You can still do it. But if you are on a 50,000 line item sheet, can you do this? You cannot even do this. That is not doable, should not be tried to be done manually, right? I say it that way as well. You should not even try to do it manually. You should try an approach based on Excel, and then, yes, 10-second job is possible. Yes. So now, understanding the fact that VLOOKUP can fetch only the first occurrence of the value, can we tweak our mind a bit so that that rule is also followed and as well as VLOOKUP works for our benefit? So what we can do simply here is create a new column here called customer name and count. Okay. And we can join two cells. So this is Prisha and the count, which we have taken using cumulative count. So if I do this, what happens is every time this becomes a second case, it is no more RF now. It is RF1, then this is RF2, and later on you will find RF6 as well. So this is my RF6. Yes. So what has happened to me with this is, instead of having a duplicate entry for RF, what I have done is I have created a unique entry for RF for each of its occurrences, calling it as RF1, RF2, RF3, RF4, 5, and 6. Yes, I'm not bothered anymore to understand whether it is RF6 or whether it is RF600 tak. Am I considering that? No. If this is done, then I don't think the VLOOKUP part is a difficult one. See, what we can do is, for those who find a problem with setting the table array or the area in which you have to search for VLOOKUP, that is one big problem with most of you. So what you can do it, you can name that range. And that is one of the simplest thing on how you should work with VLOOKUP. So what I'm asking you to do is come to this particular cell, click Control A. When entire data set is selected, something like this, go to the name box. This particular area is called the name box. इसमें जाकर इस डेटा सेट का एक नामकरण कर दीजिए. Just assign this area a name. So at the moment I am calling it as data. Not necessarily you call it as data. You can call it as Kunal. You can call it as Ritik. You can call it as Shahrukh. I don't mind that. So here, whatever you want, you can call it as that name. I'm calling it as ABC right now. Okay. What setting up this area as ABC helps is, now you do not need to even freeze the cells. Earlier, when you are using cell references, using something like this, say for example, you are writing a VLOOKUP here. So what will you do? You will write is equal to VLOOKUP, search for this, and search it where something in this, something a range like this. And then you will lock it with your absolute references. So today's session was also an absolute reference. So not using absolute reference, what we can do here is we can call that data named range. So I'll call here as ABC. So when I write it ABC, do you think ABC can change its reference when copied and pasted? ABC is ABC, defined from cell 1 to cell last. So ABC will not change its position even on a copy and paste. So this becomes a case of absolute reference without using absolute reference. All right. So this is something you should understand. And if you have understood this, then we are good to go with applying our VLOOKUP. All right. So what is VLOOKUP now? Here, this is Prisha. I need to search Prisha. But do I actually need to search Prisha? And do I find Prisha in this data? Now there is no more Prisha. What it is present is Prisha 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. Am I right? So what I will do here is, when I'm putting up the lookup value as an argument for VLOOKUP, I will use Prisha and then I will merge it with this. All right. And then I will complete the rest of the VLOOKUP syntax. So what is the rest of the syntax? I need to define the table array. I need to define the column index number in which my value is. So I can just check that number. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. On the 9th column in my table array, I have my sales value out here. So using 9, I can complete the VLOOKUP syntax. So once again, for those who have not seen this, what I've done is I've given a comma 9, comma 0. 0 is for what? 0 is for exact match. So since I'm not wanting to do an approx match, I want to do an exact match. So I'm putting it as comma 0. And once I do this, before I can apply a copy and paste, and rather I will not use only 2 names, I will use the entire list here. What I'll do is, before I can copy and paste, I need to do something about this part. All right. So what is F4 and what is G3? If you consider this well, you'll understand F4 is this, the name called Prisha. Here, when I copy and paste it later, I don't want this column F to move because of the use of absolute and relative references. So what I'll do is I'll use a mixed reference, something like this here, $F4. When I use $F4, it means the column F will remain logged and 4 will change, because I want the 4 to change to 5, to 6, to 7, and so on. And in case of G3, what is G3? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Since it is G3 and all the values are in row 3, I don't want row 3 to change, but what I want is from G it should change to H, from H to I, from I to J, and so on. So what I'll do here is, what type of lock? The lock is only within the row and not on the column. So again, an example of what? Mixed reference. So I believe the first part of the session, which we talked about references, that carries total sense in whatever we do in Excel. So once we are here, what we can simply do is, we can select all the cells in which we need to replicate the same function. But क्या copy paste से आगे बढ़ सकते हैं? The answer is yes. थोड़ा सा दोस्ती आपका कमाना चाहता हूं कंट्रोल सी और कंट्रोल वी से. आज हमने सुबह सुबह एक नॉट सुबह आज हमने सेशन के स्टार्ट पे एक और शॉर्टकट समझा था. दैट वाज व्हाट? कंट्रोल प्लस एंटर, so as to fill data in the selected cells. So once you have written one function and you want to paste the same function across all the cells, what you can do is a control plus enter. So on a control enter, what will happen is the same function across all the cells will get pasted. But not with a copy and paste. It is with a simple control plus enter. Yes. See, it is no wrong if you do a control C and a control V. But just putting you more tools in your arsenal so that whatever you want to use, wherever you want to use, you can do that. All right. Abhi ye ho gaya. So now you can see what? With one VLOOKUP, you have been able to fetch the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth occurrence of a particular salesman. Say, for example, let us verify it for Arav. So for the sixth occurrence, VLOOKUP is returning us with a result of 14,823. So let us see if 14,823 was the last occurrence for Arav as Arav 6. So this is my Arav 6 and this is 14,823. So this is how we can verify this result as well. All right. So this is one smart use of absolute relative reference along with cumulative count, and then we are able to fetch in values with the help of VLOOKUP for multiple values as well. So a comprehensive example of absolute mixed relative reference, use of cumulative count, and a combination of unique value with count, a combination of duplicate value with unique count creates a unique value. Out there, we are applying VLOOKUP so as to fetch the values from VLOOKUP for those values which are duplicated in our data. All right. तो सीधा सीधा कुछ नहीं होता है, लेकिन हो जरूर जाता है. Am I right when I say this? So that is how you need to work with it. आप ऐसा बॉस को नहीं बोल सकते कि ये तो नहीं होगा क्योंकि यहाँ डुप्लीकेट वैल्यूज है. अगर आप ऐसा बोलोगे तो नहीं चलेगा. आपको उसके लिए कुछ ना कुछ रास्ता ढूंढना पड़ेगा. All right. Now, if I go further onto this, what I presented out here, is it looking very nice? The answer is no, because there are a lot of NA. So how do we do away with this NA? So first of all, let me not copy and paste it across all the cells because मेरे को देख के गंदा लग रहा है. So what is one simple way of taking away those NAs? The answer is a small function called if NA. So you can write this function starting with if NA. So if NA, then what you will do? You will write something over here. So you can omit anything. You can just simply write it as null using two double inverted commas. And using this, if I put it as enter, what will happen is it will not fill up those boring looking NAs across your data. And this is how you get neat and clean data. Yes? Any doubts onto this one? So this is a simple case of if NA. Some of you might already be knowing it, using it. But again, see, having knowledge of something does not make much of a difference till the time you are able to apply it at the time when it is required. So this is one good case where you should apply this. And if you do this, your data will look more cleaner, more feasible to look at. Your presentations will improve. Yes, even you can write a 0 out here. That is not a problem. And if you have to further verify it, what you can do here is you can take the sum of it, of all of it, and maybe do a gross total sum. So 660,770, that is the total of it. If I come to this and maybe take a grand total of this is the same 660,770. And that means this is a verified data. Whatever you have done till now is here verified. कितने लोगों को क्लास 10 में मैथ्स पसंद था? क्लास 10 में मैथ्स अगर आपको पसंद था ना, तो आपने एक ही चीज किया है, हेंस प्रूफ लिख के अपने नोटबुक्स को भरे या फिर हेंस वेरीफाइड लिखकर. तो वेरिफिकेशन का काम आपने वहां किया, तो चाहे नहीं किया हो, आपको अपने सीए लाइफ में तो करना है. और जितना एक्सेल आप, हाँ यस, हेंस प्रूफ. सो आपको ये काम यहाँ तो करना है. तो हर बार जब आप एक्सेल पे कोई भी फंक्शन लगाओ, पूरे कॉन्फिडेंस से लगाइए, लेकिन लगाकर उसको एक बार वेरीफाई जरूर करिए. ठीक है? सो यहाँ पर मैंने ग्रैंड लेवल पर पूरे के पूरे डेटा सेट लेवल पर इसको वेरीफाई कर आपको दिखा दिया है. और हमने उसमें एक चीज और भी किया था. हमने एक केस जिसमें नंबर ऑफ यूनिट ज्यादा थे, 6 थे, आरएफ का केस, उसको इंडिविजुअली भी वेरीफाई कर दिया था. सो इफ both the things are verified, then I believe rather, we are good to go with this, and this is a standard process which you can adopt. Yes. So this is a table of all the sales of in terms of number of occurrence for each of the salesmen. So 50 data sets, we have done it here. So even if the size was huge, do you think it would have taken me more time than this? The answer is no, because एक ही बार तो काम कर रहे हैं. Rest of the times what we are doing is your favorite thing, Control C and Control V. Yes. All right. So since others who are in the session are not responding, I once again ask you, is there any doubt till whatever we have done till now? If you have any doubts, I'll not want to proceed further without clearing your doubts. So if there are any doubts, please let me know. If no doubts, then we will proceed further. If you have any doubts, please let me know. Okay. So since I have not get a positive reply that you have a doubt, so I'm moving ahead. All right. Okay. Now, next thing, say for example, this CS sheet which we have here, we need to make a summary of this. So what one good tool is present in Excel is pivot tables for summarizing our big data sets. All right. So what we are doing here is click somewhere within the data. I don't ask you to click on a particular cell or on the entire set. What you can simply do is Control A भी नहीं करना आपको. Click somewhere within the data. That is all. And hit Alt NV T in case you are using 365. In case you are using a lower version, then NV is fine. Alt NV or Alt NVT. Either ways, insert a pivot table. It will get inserted onto a new sheet. Let this happen and come alongside with me on this. Insert a blank pivot table. Insert a pivot table. A blank sheet will get created. Something like this. And you have to make a report. The report is not yet ready because we do not know what type of report we are going to make, right? At the moment, the structure is ready to create a report. Now, say for example, if I see this data set, I see some customer names repeating itself. I see some values of sales happening, right? So if I ask you a simple question, make a report showing total sales for each customer. Can we quickly do this? Total sales for each customer. So if I have to achieve this, what I'll do is I'll go to this particular sheet. I'll name it as PT. And in this, I'll just click on two buttons, this checkbox called customer name, and I'll move down and I'll click on total sales. So what I get is a report showing me sales of each customer. Yes. Currently, we have done something called count, where we have taken out cumulative count. But in case if you are using pivot table and if you throw something like order ID onto values within the pivot table and use right click on this and go to summarize values by and hit on count, you can still see the count of them. This value called RF53422, the total sales of this has come from 6 different order IDs. That is what it is showing you. So in case of pivot table, there is something which you do not have to write a single function as well, and you still get a lot of values. So for extracting the count, did you write the count function? The answer is no. You have got it without writing a single function even. But this is true once we are working with pivot tables. Yes. So if this is true, if I ask you who has contributed the most in terms of percentage in this particular sales report, can you answer me this? सबसे ज्यादा contribution किस customer का है? Who has purchased the most from us? The answer is yes. You can sort it based on largest to smallest, and you will find that it is Aditya who has done it the most. Just a second, I'll delete the total so that it does not disturb us. One moment, I'll delete this line and I'll come back to my pivot table so that I have only the customer values. Yes. So it is Aditya who has purchased how much? 73,330, and he is the highest contributor to our sales. Kitna percentage hai? How do you calculate that? When you are using pivot tables, if you have to show the percentage, then what you can do is you can convert these values into percentage. You do not have to use a divided by total wala, all such calculations you do not have to do. You can simply right click out here, go to show values as and click on percentage of grand total. If you do this, what will happen is the values will be automatically converted into percentage. Am I right? Now, having said this, your boss is not satisfied here. He says, I still want the values as well. मेरे को values भी चाहिए, मेरे को percentage भी चाहिए. All right? Have you understood what I am trying to achieve? We are wanting to show in this report the total value of sales for each customer along with the percentage of that total value of sales. So how do we achieve this?
Add another column.
Which column?
Total sales.
Yes. So using total sales as yet another column, if I drag and drop it once again here, so I get the value in terms of amount. So whether this was amount or this is amount, that does not matter. If you once again want to convert it, you can click on no percentage, it is amount, and maybe you can convert this into percentage the way you like. All right. So this is your percentage. And maybe if you do not want your count, you can just drag and drop that column from values to outside or something somewhere like this, and this column will be taken off. Yes. So that is so very simple working with pivot table. Just drag and drop, किसी को उठाइए कहीं पे डालिए, report change होता है. Yes. So pivot tables are actually fun element to play with. These should not be called as tools for working. These are tools for playing with data. That is how I look at it. Yes. Just see the fun. You drag and drop one more column called product within columns, and you have a new report altogether, a different perspective, a different insight on the entire data. Yes. What is this report now? This report is showing me total sales of each customer for each product, along with the total sales of that customer as well. Again, if I want to convert it into all such kind of examples like percentage and others, the count of it, the sum of it, the product, the average of it, all such things are also possible. So just take 1 to 2 minutes of time, one minute of time, that is sufficient for you, and just explore these 4 fields. The first one is filter, the second one is columns, the third one is rows, the fourth one is values. Right click on top of them, go to show values as, and then, okay, out here, go to this, go to summarize values by, and see some options which you have. Play with these 4 fields out here in the pivot table on the right, and see for yourself how the pivot table changes its look and feel. You will get new insights every time you move and drag and drop one field from the other. Please try and explore. Ask me anything if you have a doubt. Please write one on the chat box once you are done with it. No specific task as such, but just explore the 4 options out here: filters, columns, rows, and values. Once you are good, we will move ahead. Okay, Kunal, Manisha, Venkat, DV Raman. So can I call you Raman? Okay, Mudit, Sneha. All right. Now you have a task at hand. Okay. What is next that you have to do is first create a pivot table like me. So what I have done is I've created a customer-wise, product-wise sales report. Yes. I have the names of the customer here. I have the names of the products out here. I have the value of sales for each customer for each product. Yes. Can you see my pivot table and can you create one such? Don't say yes. Say it is already done. Yes, that's more like it, Raman. All right, Venkat. Shubh. All right. Okay, Manisha. So now answer me, what is the total value of sales for Avni for keyboard? What is the value of sales for Avni for keyboard? Yes, only one has responded. Others? अरे यस, ये फाइनल वाला क्वेश्चन नहीं है, फटाफट आंसर करो आप लोग. What is the sale of Avni for keyboard? And trust me, this is one very simple answer. जो आप लोग आंसर नहीं करोगे तो आपको मिल जाएगा. Yes, the answer is 0. There is no sales for Avni for keyboard. Yes. So if there is no sales, can you quickly write that 0 in that cell? Try writing a 0 in that cell where you have Avni for keyboard. Could you write? So Manisha and Raman, you say you cannot. So also Venkat. So when you try editing any part of the cell in a pivot table, it stops you there. Yes. So what is good about it? The good part about working with pivot tables is you can rely on a pivot table. Figures in the pivot table cannot be edited once it is created. इसका मतलब क्या कि whatever is in your raw data that will be fetched in correctly. Raw data can be tampered with, but once a pivot table is showing you a result, that result cannot be tampered with. All right. So you can rely on that pivot table. Yes. One more thing. What is the sale of Aditya for keyboard? The answer is 27099. Everyone can see on that? Yes, the first occurrence. Now double click on that particular number 27099 to see all such sales which is for that number. इसका मतलब क्या? आपके पास आपका डेटा का बैकअप रेडी है. Why are you calling 27099 as 27099? What is it totaled up with? You will get to see all such values. All right. एक से ज्यादा लाइन आइटम्स आपको इस एक नया शीट आपके डबल क्लिक पर क्रिएट हो जाता है. A new sheet gets created when you double click on that value, totaling up to that particular number on which you clicked. All right. So for better understanding, what you do is click on the grand total of Aditya. Double click on this 73300. So Aditya had 6 items. So you can see 6 line items and the total of which is being shown there, that is 73300. Sorry, 73330. Something like that. Yes. Please don't go by that number. Yes, 73330. That is what it is. Yes. So on a single double click, you have a new sheet formatted to you with the raw data of that person on whose number you clicked. Maybe for a particular product or maybe his grand total. I don't mind. But you have the backup of your data in front of you, just available on a single double click. Yes. Now you say that for Avni, the sale of keyboard is 0. So what happens if I double click on this cell? The answer is a new sheet gets created, but with no data in that particular sheet. So it means that there is nothing to be displayed here because since there is nothing to be displayed here, so the total out of it is coming as blank or 0. All right. What was my task to you? My task to you was write 0 in case it is a 0. You all said that is not possible. But let me show you it is possible. How is it possible? It is not possible directly. You double click on this, write a 0 and go ahead. Because double click karne se you do not get into the edit mode, right? Like in a normal Excel cell. You double click on it and you enter into a new sheet which is like this. So this is something we do not want. I'll just delete the extra sheets. 1 second. So here, how do I write something on this cell? So the answer is right click on the pivot table, go to pivot table options out here, and out here it is giving you an option to insert something for empty value show. So if I write 0 out here, what happens is that 0 starts appearing every time where there was 0. Okay. So this is how you can ensure that you write a 0 for all such values which are 0. Okay. I said you that with pivot tables, there is one good thing that you cannot be tricked. Why cannot be tricked? Because it cannot be edited. Now again, did I edit it? I did edit it. Yes. And what if, in case, please do not give it a try. Just listen to me and answer me. Instead of that 0, if I write 1000 out there, do you think this OK will accept it? And if this okay accepts this, then what happens? Every time you get a 1000 appearing in the pivot table, now this becomes dangerous. Yes. So if this is something which is possible, you as a auditor should understand this setting to your benefit. If you are presented some data on a pivot table, एक बार उसको राइट क्लिक कर चेक कर लो कि उसमें कुछ छेड़खानी तो नहीं करी हुई है. दूसरी बात, यहाँ पर जो फिगर होगा वो मल्टीपल टाइम्स यहाँ दिख रहा है आपको. 1000 is appearing multiple times over here. So see, when you are on an audit, you should not have two eyes. You should have all your senses open. आपको ये चीज नजर आना चाहिए कि कुछ नंबर्स बार बार फ्लैश कर रहे हैं. Yes. And if that is true, just playfully double click on any of them, any of such number which is repeating itself. And if you see a blank report onto that double click, तो आपको कौन याद आना चाहिए? CID का दया. ऑलराइट, कि कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. और फिर आपका जितना स्केप्टिक माइंड है वो स्केप्टिक माइंड काम करने लग जाना चाहिए. यस, Raman and Venkat, you guys are perfectly bang on. That is what I mean to say. You should start thinking skeptically about your client and the audit in particular, that yes, the guys are trying to play smart with you and you need to be more smarter with them. Yes. See, we do not foresee risk if everything looks very clear. जबकि वहां भी हमें करना चाहिए. बट यस, अगर कुछ लग रहा है कि उन लोग हमसे स्मार्ट खेलना चाह रहे हैं, तब तो फिर आपका दोनों आंख, दोनों कान और शायद फिर दोनों नाक. आई अंडरस्टैंड यू डू नॉट हैव टू नोज, बट यस, दैट इज द वे यू शुड स्टार्ट लुकिंग एट इट. यस. सो अंडरस्टैंड दिस इज ऑल्सो ए सेटिंग which is present. So either put it as null or put it as 0 whenever you are working with pivot tables. All right. Don't be a victim to this particular setting. That is all I wanted to share here. All right. Okay. Now that you have made this report and we are about to be at 5:30. So before we close the session, there should be some fireworks kind of thing. कुछ तो आपको एक एक्स्ट्रा ऐसा कुछ सीख के जाना चाहिए ना, जिसको करके आपको भी मजा आए, किसी को दिखाकर आपको भी मजा आए. तो चलिए एक थोड़ा सा वैसा कुछ काम करने की कोशिश करते हैं. So say for example, we have just inserted a pivot table. We have a blank report which we need to create. Okay. Listen to me very carefully because by now you must have understood करने में कितना समय लगता है. करने में समय नहीं लगता, करने का काम कितने देर में हो जाता है. Who will answer? Okay. Now you are with me on this, Manisha. I understand. करने में 10 ही सेकंड लगता है. All right. So करने का 10 सेकंड हमेशा हमारे पास होता है. क्या करना है वो हमें आधी बार समझ नहीं आता, जिसको समझना ज्यादा जरूरी है. और उसको समझने के लिए क्या जरूरी है? पहले सवाल को सही से सुनना. Okay. So please listen to me very carefully. What are you expected to do next? Okay. Say for example, this is your data which you have already seen. This is your data set, right? I want you to create, okay, I'll write it here for you. Create a report showing product-wise sales for each customer in a new sheet. Wait, थोड़ा सा और इसको बड़ा करते हैं. Create a report showing region-wise, product-wise sales for each customer in a new sheet. ठीक है. अब इस रिपोर्ट को पहले समझते हैं. Create a report showing region-wise, product-wise sales. कोई मुश्किल है क्या इसको समझना? अगर मैं आपसे रीजन वाइज मांग रहा हूं और प्रोडक्ट वाइज मांग रहा हूं और सेल्स मांग रहा हूं, तो ये आपका रिपोर्ट बन गया. ज्यादा से ज्यादा मैं प्रोडक्ट को, ओके 1 सेकेंड, रीजन वाइज, प्रोडक्ट वाइज सेल्स, कुछ ऐसा रिपोर्ट बन गया ये. यस. सो यहां तक तो आपको इस रिपोर्ट को समझने में शायद कोई तकलीफ नहीं आ रही होगी. यस, इज एवरीवन विथ मी? I have created a report showing region-wise, product-wise sales report. Yes, in terms of amount. Now, what is the later part of the task asking you? For each customer in a new sheet. समझ में आपको मैं क्या चाहता हूं यहां पर आपसे कि हर कस्टमर, यहां पर कस्टमर कौन है आपके पास? कस्टमर है प्रीशा, कृष्णा, शौर्य। तो हर कस्टमर का एक नया शीट बनना चाहिए. See, this is a pivot table. If I ask you also to add customer here, say for example, I take customer and drag and drop it here. So this is region wise, product wise, sales report for each customer. Yes, do I have this data for each customer? So this is RF for RF in East. He has sold what? He has sold a printer for 11265. But I don't want this presentation. I want a presentation showing each customer in a new sheet. तो यहाँ पर हमारे पास customers कितने हैं? हमने unique list बनाया था ना? So this was our unique list. So I have 20 customers here. So if I have 20 customers here, I need to prepare 20 such sheets. What is a sheet in Excel? ये आपको पता है? We have here how many sheets in particular in this workbook? कितना दिख रहा है आपको? मेरे वर्क 4. All right. So everyone is okay with the concept of workbook and worksheet, right? So at the moment in my Excel workbook, we have 4 different worksheets. So if we are having 4 different worksheets, we need to create 20 more now. हर कस्टमर का एक वर्कशीट, और उस वर्कशीट में क्या होगा? उस वर्कशीट में डेटा होगा कुछ इस तरह का, जिसमें रीजन वाइज, प्रोडक्ट वाइज सेल्स रिपोर्ट हो. So this is my task to you. Yes. So someone was telling me about something, that was Soumya. So please go ahead with whatever you feel like and try to see if you can achieve this. If not, I will definitely share it with you, but I'm wanting you to apply your mind before we check how to do this. I can once again make you understand what the query is if you have not understood the query by now. Anyone who wants me to make you understand what the query is, please let me know. Mudit, you want me to repeat? See, what you see on my screen is a report showing region-wise, customer-wise sales in terms of amount. Is it okay? पहले मेरे साथ यहाँ तक आइए. Okay. If this is okay, then what I'm wanting next from you is, I want customer-wise report in the same fashion, and for each customer, I want it in a new sheet. मतलब एग्जाम्पल, अगर आपको एक कस्टमर का नाम मैं बताता हूं प्रीशा, तो प्रीशा का एक शीट होना चाहिए, आरव उसका दूसरा शीट होना चाहिए, एंड सो ऑन फॉर ईच ऑफ द 20 customers. Soumya, I have read your comment. You are almost there, but understand there are 20 sheets to be made. And this is an example for a classroom session when we are talking about 20 sheets. In real life, you may encounter 500 such salesmen, or 500 such customers, or even 5,000 such customers. So क्या आप मैनुअली एक के बाद एक के बाद एक बनाते रहोगे? So yes. So that no needs to be converted to a yes with help of Excel, so that you do not have to repeatedly do the job. आपको रिपीटेडली काम ना करना पड़े, इसलिए तो एक्सेल को काम करना है ना मैडम. यस. ओके, नाउ थिंक ओवर इट. Is the query not yet clear to anyone? कुछ सोच पा रहे हो जो लोग अभी तक कुछ रेस्पॉन्ड नहीं कर रहे हैं, whether the query is clear or not, or if you are trying press 1 on the chat, at least I will know. query is absolutely clear. Okay, fine. Trying, understood, but not getting idea. All right. One, trying. All right. So take another 2 minutes, no problem. Manisha, with your permission, I am extending the session 10-15 minutes, if that is fine with you guys.
Yes, sir, completely fine.
All right. Guys and girls, please don't tell me कि आपने हमारा छुट्टी खराब कर दिया. That is with your voluntary effort and that is with your permission that I am continuing. Okay. Okay. Think over it for another 1-2 minutes and then we will see the big reveal. What is my turnaround time? Please keep in mind. Yes, Manisha. So when I say 10 seconds, it may be 10 or maybe less. All right. So have a look on screen, no issues. We are all here to learn something. So let us see how we can achieve this. So first tell me if this table is a problem for anyone. This is a simple table showing region-wise, product-wise sales. Yes? ये सबसे हो रहा है. There should not be any problem working on this. Yes? Then what we can do is we can just use this customer name under filter. And once we put it under filter, we can see that the same report, but here we have customer names and we have a drop down which allows us to select any one customer. If I do this, you can see the report getting changed. And this is now correct for which customer called Adya. Right? So this is one approach which one of your friend, I believe, Soumya, was telling me how we can achieve this. So on this, what I told her was, say for example, in this case, we have 20 customers. Say for example, we have 200 or 2000 customers. क्या ये काम हम लोग manually करना चाहेंगे? Every time you come to this, create a new sheet using a copy and paste. And this time after Adya, I'll create it for Arav. So these are the number of steps if we have to do repeatedly one by one for all of the 20, all of the 200 or all of the 2000. So ये कर सकते हैं, there is no wrong in it, but yes, this is a human task subject to human errors as well. आपसे गलती हो सकती है कि आपने आरएफ का शीट 2 बार बना दिया और इसके बाद वाले का शीट छूट गया आपसे बनाना. जब आप एक काम को रिपीटेडली करते हैं, मोनोटोनस हो जाता है and therein there is a higher probability of human errors creeping in. Yes. So we will not take up such an approach. So I'm deleting this sheet. Rather, what is special and what is good about pivot table here is we can just set it to all. Let this be like this. This is your sheet. I'm deleting this particular comment of mine, which was my query, and just creating this table. All right. So this is what we have done till now. And here, what I need to do is, and just drag and drop this here. 1 second. Yes. So once we have clicked somewhere within the pivot table, we need to go to this option called pivot table analyze. In pivot table analyze, on the extreme left, you have this options written herein. Yes, you do not need to click on options. So please do not run. Please be with me. भागिए मत, मेरे साथ साथ चलिए. आपको ऑप्शंस पे क्लिक नहीं करना है, लेकिन ऑप्शंस के बाद एक राइट में ड्रॉप डाउन है, आपको इस पे क्लिक करना है. Once you click here, there is an option called show report filter pages. And once you click on show report filter pages, it will show you that field name which is lying under here, under filters. Okay. So whatever you bring under filters here, that is what will be shown here. The moment you hit on OK, I've not hit OK as yet. What I'm doing for you right now is making you first see the number of sheets. कितने हैं? फिलहाल 4 हैं. हमें कितने नए बनाने? नए 20 बनाने. So are we bothered with the count? The answer is again a no. If you just hit OK, you can see something happen. और ये something नहीं, ये आपका task था. You can see a sheet called Adya, you can see a sheet called Arav, Aditya, Ananya, and so on. अब ये 20 है, चाहे 200 है, चाहे 2000 है. We don't care. All right. So this is yet another very powerful feature of Excel. Now, where can you use this feature? Okay. Before talking on that, please give it a try. करके देखो, complete करो. Go to that pivot table. Ensure that you have within your filters customer name. All right. Once you are there, click on any of the cells within the pivot table. Go to pivot table analyze. On the extreme left, you will find options here. Within options, you have a drop down here, and within the drop down, you have something called show report filter pages. So using show report filter pages, click on it. A new dialog box will open. Click OK onto that. And the moment you do that, something happens, and that something is your job. Yes, that is what we were trying to achieve. Anyone who has a doubt with this? Now, let me just share some practical use case where you can actually use this feature. Feature तो बहुत fancy है, ये तो आप लोग मानते होंगे. Yes, देख के मजा आया. लेकिन अब इसका यूज कहाँ कर सकते हैं अपने रियल लाइफ में, हमारे प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में. Say for example, you are within this audit season, right? You have a 43BH clause which came in last year. Yes, remember that 43BH का शेड्यूल हर कस्टमर के लिए आपको अगर बनाना है, your payments versus you want to show the balance. So आप एक लेजर जैसा उसके लिए बना सकते हैं ना, your inwards and your payments, और उसका हर कस्टमर का, हर वेंडर का आप ये रिपोर्ट बना लो, और इसको आप फिर सबके लिए सेव कर सकते हो या सबका प्रिंट आउट निकाल सकते हो, जैसे भी आपको डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना है. So this can be one practical use case of this. Second example, you have different GSTIN numbers, and you have your, say for example, tally exported into Excel, right? In that you have multiple GSTIN. For that multiple GSTIN, if you make for each GSTIN a single sheet, you can ask your auditee to send it across to all of the parties and get external confirmation from them. Confirmation from third parties. ये आपका audit का scope के अंदर आता है when you are doing a stat audit. Am I right? So again, a use case. So these types, you can create n number of use cases for this particular case where you use the show report filter pages option. This is indeed a very wonderful tool if you can put it to use. It works like charm, and there is no stopping. Once you start using this tool, we'll create n number of reports. And these reports, which are so very massive, you will feel like इतना reports कौन create करेगा? लेकिन यहाँ आपको करना ही नहीं पड़ रहा ना. यहाँ तो on a click it is getting. We see if we have made 200 such sheets for being distributed to 20 such customers, right? So when there is no problem in creating data, then distributing is very simple. WhatsApp कर सकते हैं, email कर सकते हैं, एक किसी इंसान को बैठा दिया कि ये उसका शीट उसको बनाकर देते रहो, right? With the help of VBA, what we can next do here is we can create workbooks for each sheets. ये जो आद्या का एक sheet बना, if you want this particular data to be created into a workbook, not a worksheet, but a workbook, then only this particular sheet, which is showing you data of Adya, will go into that workbook. And that workbook can be mailed to the respective party called Adya for asking for any kind of confirmations, for asking for confirmation of accounts, or whatsoever the case might be. So this becomes a reconciliation tool. As auditors, we can use it for third-party reconciliation and things like that. So I believe this will add some value to your audit when you do next. And just suggest it in your office कि मैं ऐसा कर सकता हूँ. Because see, many of the times principals are also not in a mood to stop you, but they are fearful कि इसको करेंगे कैसे. Idea तो बहुत अच्छा है कि हमें ऐसा कर लेना चाहिए. In the effort and time involved to do it, at times stops you from doing it. So if you can just शो इट कि ये तो मैं करके देती हूँ या करके देता हूँ, तो फिर आई गेस you can raise your collars and move around in the office. Yes. So I had something more to do with you. There are slicers and there are charts also in case of pivot tables, which we can take up. But I hope we will reserve it for the next session when again Manisha calls me up for the next episode when I'll not call it E3 but something else. Yes. So we will stop it here. In case you have any doubts, you can ask me. It is 5:45. So we can have a 10-15 minute question answer. If you have any such questions, please go ahead, fire it for me. If I can answer, I'll definitely love to answer that. Anyone? जितने लोगों ने अभी तक कुछ नहीं बोला उनको पहला चांस, और जो लोग बोल रहे हैं उनके लिए तो चांस ही चांस है. यस सौम्या, आई कैन शेयर दैट, नॉट ए प्रॉब्लम. लेकिन मैंने इसमें ऐसा कुछ किया नहीं है जो आपको ये शीट चाहिए हो. फिर भी अगर आप बोल रहे हो मैं शेयर कर दूंगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. क्या करोगे इसका? जस्ट ट्राइंग टू हैव योर थॉट्स. क्या करोगे? मैं शेयर तो अभी कर रहा हूँ आपके साथ, लेकिन करोगे क्या? थैंक यू तो ठीक है सौम्या, आई एम टॉकिंग टू यू. करोगे क्या ये मेरे को भी तो बताओ. ओके, यू मिस द इनिशियल सेशन, नो प्रॉब्लम. आई होप yes, I can add. Yes, so it is on my computer and the file is somewhere here. So I have shared it on Zoom chat, not sharing anywhere else. एक जगह है, आप लोग जो लोगों ने Zoom पे अटेंड किया है, आप लोग सबके लिए ये सॉल्व्ड वर्कबुक भी है. Please go ahead, download it, no problem. Yes. So looking forward for your queries if there are any. Yes, you can definitely unmute yourself and talk to me. Is there any chance that all such tables are in one single sheet? Matlab, Venkat, are you talking? Please come again, like more or give your query more clearly. All such tables are in a single sheet. Which all tables? The ones which we created in multiple sheets. Are you wanting to bring them all in one sheet? Yes. So for that, I believe you toggle yourself between the normal usage of pivot table and the advanced use, and once you have done it with an advanced use, you are wanting to come back to the normal use. See, I'll show you. What you are asking is nothing but this. So if I just bring this here, do you think this is not that sheet? Venkat, this is specifically for you. Do you agree that all customer wise details along with their region and product is here in a single sheet? So this was, yes, this was simpler, but this went out of mind, I believe. No issues. That happens with most of us as well. So no problem with that. But I hope your query is very clear now. Anyone else who has a query with it? With whatever we have discussed or anything maybe on Excel as well. If I'll be able to answer, I'll definitely do it. Okay, Manisha. So I believe we have no queries here.
सर मेरा एक
Over
क्वेश्चन
to
है.
you. हाँ बोलिए.
सर जब भी कोई हम फंक्शन को नेस्ट करते हैं ना, मिक्स करते हैं, तो किस फंक्शन को पहले देना है, किस फंक्शन को बाद में देना है, इस पे बड़ा कंफ्यूजन होता है.
ये कंफ्यूज होने की बात है नहीं, लेकिन आप एक चीज समझो. अगर मैं लिखता हूं सम, उसके बाद लिखता हूं वी लुकअप, ठीक है, ये दो फंक्शन को मैंने आपके कहने पर मिक्स किया, ठीक है. अभी आप क्या लिख रहे हो? अभी आप जब इंसर्ट कर रहे हो एक फंक्शन, तो आप क्या लिख रहे हो? किस
मतलब
फंक्शन का इनपुट डाल रहे हो? अभी अगर मैं इस फंक्शन को यहाँ कंटिन्यू करूं, आप मेरे स्क्रीन को देख रहे हो ना, तो मैं किस फंक्शन के लिए आर्ग्यूमेंट लिख रहा हूँ?
सम के लिए.
नहीं लिख रहा हूँ, मैं अभी वी लुकअप के लिए लिख रहा हूँ. अभी आप देखो वी लुकअप खुला हुआ है और वी लुकअप के आर्ग्यूमेंट्स वो मेरे से मांग रहा है,
ओके ओके,
ठीक है.
हाँ.
वी लुकअप के आर्ग्यूमेंट्स में लिख रहा हूं, लेकिन वी लुकअप का जो भी रिजल्ट आएगा वो किसके लिए जाएगा?
सम के लिए जाएगा.
तो अल्टीमेटली सम बड़ा फंक्शन हुआ और सम के अंदर
Okay.
जो जिसको आपको सम करना है वो
हम्म।
वैल्यूज आप VLOOKUP से ला रहे हो।
ओके ओके, मतलब ब्रॉडर अम्ब्रेला के अंदर पहला फंक्शन होना चाहिए, जिस मतलब मेन फंक्शन होना चाहिए।
यस।
ओके।
आपको आप बहुत सिंपली अगर हम लोग बात करते हैं, हमारी मैथ्स का जो फंक्शन है बॉडमास रूल जो हम लोग बोलते हैं,
हाँ।
तो पहले बी काम करता ना, फिर ओ, फिर
हम्म
डी, फिर एम ना।
हम्म।
राइट। तो
राइट।
यहाँ पर आप जिस ऑर्डर में फंक्शन लिख रहे हो
हम्म।
सबसे बाद में वो काम करेगा, और
अच्छा।
उसके लिए इनपुट्स उसके अंदर वाले से आएगा।
ओके।
अभी सम का जो, अभी आप ऐसे देखो इसको, मैं बोल रहा हूँ इज इक्वल टू सम ऑफ 2, 3। सिंपल है ये। क्या
हाँ।
आंसर, क्या आंसर आएगा? 5
फाइव
आएगा।
फाइव आएगा।
कंफ्यूज मत हो। तो इधर हमने क्या बोला, 2 और 3। अरे
हम्म।
2 और 3 बोला जब तक आप कंफ्यूज नहीं हो रहे। अब मेरे को ये 2 नहीं बोलना है, मैंने बोला कि वी लुकअप करो, कुछ ढूंढो कहीं से, कुछ लाओ, कुछ ला के, लेकिन वो क्या दे रहा है मेरे को, 2 दे रहा है।
हम्म।
राइट। तो
हम्म।
वी लुकअप क्या कर रहा है, वी लुकअप एक आर्ग्यूमेंट ला रहा है, किसके लिए ला रहा है, सम के लिए ला रहा है। तो यहां आप कंफ्यूज हो ही नहीं सकते। अगर आप यहां कंफ्यूज हो गए तो आप कभी भी कॉम्प्लेक्स फंक्शंस पे काम नहीं कर पाओगे।
हाँ
आपको ये
सर,
समझ,
बार बार वो चीज गलत होता है, फिर चैट जीपीटी को पूछना पड़ता है कि गलत क्यों हो रहा है। तो फिर पता चलता है कि ये नेक्स्ट नेस्टिंग में गलती कर रही हूँ मैं।
राइट। तो चैट जीपीटी तक ये बात नहीं जानी चाहिए, ये बात जानी चाहिए कि आपको क्या करना है, आपको सम करना है, किसका किस सम करना है, वो किसका किसका में से एक चीज आपको नहीं पता, तो मे बी उसको लाने के लिए आपने VLOOKUP यूज किया, दिस इज ओके।
हम्म।
लेकिन आपको ये कंक्रीटली पता होना चाहिए कि आप क्या करने वाले हो। तो आप
हम्म।
क्या करने वाले हो यहाँ पर, अभी आपको कुछ एडिशन करना है, ये है आपका पॉइंट। किसका
हम्म।
एडिशन करना है, उसमें से एक नंबर है और दूसरा नंबर नहीं है, तो दूसरा नंबर कैसे आएगा, दूसरा नंबर VLOOKUP से आएगा। तो विल राइट
हाँ।
सम ऑफ VLOOKUP एड समथिंग, बट यू विल नॉट राइट इज इक्वल टू VLOOKUP कॉमा सम, ऐसा कुछ नहीं करोगे।
ओके सर,
अभी
समझ।
क्लियर हुआ थॉट?
हाँ सर, क्लियर हो गया। थैंक यू सर।
ओके। ओके, सो ओवर टू यू ओनली बिकॉज देयर इज नो डाउट आई बिलीव फ्रॉम एनीवन एल्स।
हाँ सर, सीम्स लाइक नो वन हैज एनी डाउट, सबका क्लियर हो गया। Okay, thank you, sir. It was a really, really amazing session. I now request Mudit Surana, Sports Coordinator of Guwahati branch of EICASA, to deliver the vote of thanks for the day.
Thank you, Manisha. Uh, Esteemed speaker, ICASA members, and all my dear friends, on behalf of ICASA Guwahati, I, Mudit Surana, extend my heartfelt gratitude to Sri Ankit Jalan for delivering such an insightful and engaging session. Sir, your knowledge and practical experience on advanced Excel have truly enriched us, and we will carry all these learnings throughout our professional journey. I would also like to thank all the participants for their active involvement, and last but not the least, my ICASA team for organizing such an insightful event. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I have one last request before we wind up the session, in case that is not a mandatory one. I have a small WhatsApp group called Excel with Excel. We do not talk on anything other than Excel in that particular group. आज इंडिपेंडेंस डे है, हमने वहां पर विश नहीं किया है, वैसे मैंने आपको यहाँ भी विश नहीं किया, सो हैप्पी इंडिपेंडेंस डे। आई मिस्ड इट आउट ऑन माय वेरी स्टार्ट, आई एम वेरी सॉरी अबाउट इट, बट यस, हैप्पी इंडिपेंडेंस डे। In that group, we can talk all Excel. Since there are many people there, it is not necessary for me to answer. You all are doing good with Excel, and there are more such people who are doing equally good on Excel. So if you wish to join that group, I can share a link with you, and you are more than welcome to join that group. But join it only if you can accept the rules of no spamming at all, no good morning, no good night, no nothing day. एक्सेल डे भी हम वहां सेलिब्रेट नहीं करेंगे क्योंकि अभी तक ऐसा ऑफिशियल अनाउंसमेंट नहीं आया है। ठीक है, जिस दिन आ जाएगा उस दिन से सेलिब्रेट करेंगे। सो इफ एनीवन इज डिजायरस, यू कैन जस्ट यूज this particular link which I have shared on chat with you, and that is the join to link that WhatsApp group. All right.
Okay, sir.
You can ask for any such queries of yours on Excel. ये मत सोचिए मेरा क्वेरी क्या है, मैं हूं, मेरे जैसे और बहुत लोग हैं उस ग्रुप में, कोई ना कोई आपके सॉल्यूशन तक आपको पहुंचा देगा।
Okay, sir.
All right.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, on that note, on part of Manisha as well and on part of Mudit and entire team of ICASA, thank you very much for a patient listening, and we can close the session here. Thank you.